What's up, guys? This is your boy Ted, the review guy, and today I'll be trying to review and put together a solid timeline of a series called Dark. Dark is a German series and it's on Netflix right now, all three seasons of it. Guys, it's incredible. If you haven't watched the series, please go watch it, and because this review is gonna be filled with spoilers. So yeah, this is your only spoiler warning. So let's get to it. Before we get to it, what I tried to do with this review is combine all the timelines that are very important to the ending of the show, and in a form of a voice recording, basically. So I'm hoping that you guys like the video because I'm trying something new, and I was gonna feel very uncomfortable with speaking for so long. Yeah. So yeah, I tried something new and I hope it works, and I hope my review does make sense. And if I skip things that you think were important and or you want to discuss, please let me know on the comments below, and yeah, we can discuss them. And yeah, so basically the series is mostly about people not being able to get over the people they love. They not get over, but let them go. And so a lot of things, they do a lot of things to keep them, and they do a lot of bad, and they cross a lot of people. They lie to people just to save the individuals they love. And this series explores a lot of that with three main characters. Three main characters. That's Martha, Jonas, and Claudia. That's basically the whole what the series is mostly about. The other characters are connecting characters throughout the series. I hope you do enjoy this review. So yeah, finally, let's get to it. Enjoy. So we're gonna start with the origin world in 1971. This is important because 1971 is the year where everything was put into motion. So H.G. Townhouse loses his son, daughter-in-law, and grandchild, and this causes him to initiate the process of building the time machine. He starts building the time machine in 1974, and it takes him 12 years to finish it. And then that's the year 1986. He then starts the whole mess and splits the world into two realities. And that's the year Mads Nelson goes missing, who is Ulrich's brother and who is kidnapped by Helga. And then this is also the year where Mikkel arrives after traveling from 2019. He meets Hannah as a young child, and then they get married and eventually have a child named Jonas. And then now we're gonna go to back in time even more, in World 1, where this is where the world where Jonas exists. So we're gonna start in 1822, a year that we go back to, and this is where the older Jonas, the stranger, takes the teens from the end of season 2 and takes them to 1988 to escape the end of the world apocalypse that was happening at the time. 1888, this is also the year Sylvia was sent back in time by Adam from the year 2053. She falls in love with Bartosz, and then they have children, Hanno, who is also Noah, and also Agnes. And also in 1911, Hannah goes back in time after stealing the apparatus from older Jonas. She goes back in time and meets Adam, and Adam is older Jonas.
Adam kills her because she isn't supposed to be in 1911, and he worries that he will mess up his plans. And then we go to 1920. This is the year when Egon Tiedemann was born. And then in 1921, young Noah and older Bartosz are working on the tunnel. And then young Noah kills Bartosz because Adam told him so. He doesn't know that Bartosz is his father at the time. Also in 1921, a younger Jonas appears after traveling from the God particle in 2053. Young Jonas meets the young Noah and Agnes, and then is taken to Adam, where he finds out that Adam is himself, the older version of himself, basically. This older version is older than the stranger. And then older Noah, who's also works for Adam, tries to kill Adam at the time after finding the missing pages that he was looking for the book, after killing Claudia in the future. But then the gun doesn't work because fate doesn't really want Adam to die. And then Agnes is ordered to kill her brother by Adam at the same time. And then we move to the year 1942, and this is when Claudia Tiedemann was born. And then a year later, Helga Doppler is born. And then in 1953, an old Helga traveled from the 1980s to dispose of the bodies of Elric, Obendorf, and Yassen, those kids that were missing in 2019. Also again in the same year, this is when Ulrich travels back in time to try and kill Helga to stop him from kidnapping his son in the future, Mikkel. He thinks that Helga kidnapped Mikkel at the time, but then is arrested by Egon, and who thinks he killed the two boys that were found in the sand. In 1953, Claudia visits H.G. Tannhaus and hands him the apparatus, or the blueprint of the apparatus, to build the time machine. So this is when that theory, the bootstrap paradox, comes in. In 1954, Claudia Kerr buries her own apparatus to be dug up in 1987 by her younger self. And then she visits her father, Egon, to apologize to him, because in the future we found out that she killed him by mistake. So then during that time, she gives Tannhaus his book that explains the theory of time, which he hasn't written yet. This is when the bootstrap paradox comes in. This book she was given by Helga when he was a security there, as a present. She was given by Helga. And then also same year, Noah kills Claudia and takes the pages of the book, and then he finds out that Charlotte is his daughter. Still in the same year, Hannah arrives after stealing the stranger's time apparatus, and then she goes there to looking for Ulrich, but after finding him, she leaves him because she saw that Ulrich will never be hers, because she's been obsessed with Ulrich since she was a child. She then has an affair with Egon, and then she gets pregnant, and then with a baby named Silja. So this is when the story comes to the origin world in 1971, the creation of the time machine and all of that stuff. And then in 1986, Jonas is captured by Noah and Helga, and put in that house with the wallpaper and stuff, and then is visited by his older self, who is trying to fix the loop that they've been going through all this time. But obviously things don't work as Jonas is trying to close the wormhole or try to fix things. But then Jonas is transported to the year 2052. In 1987, this is the arrival of Peter Doppler, who marries Charlotte. And then Egon also connects, this is where older Egon connects the dots that Ulrich from the future, the one that was arrested in the 1940s and turned insane and all of that stuff, is the same one as the Ulrich that is giving him trouble at the moment, that is a teenager and giving him trouble and all of that stuff. And then he gives older arrested Ulrich a picture of Mikkel, and this causes Ulrich to escape to get his son, and then he gets arrested again. That's when the teens from 2019 arrive in 1987 using Bartosz's time apparatus, which he got from Noah, since he's been making deals with Noah in the car and all of that stuff. And then the future is here, where Egon dies, killed by Claudia in that accident. And at the same time, Katharina also shows up looking for Ulrich and Mikkel, husband and her son. She tries to break Ulrich out of the psycho ward, and ends up being killed by her own mother, which is a theme of this whole series. Everyone just out here killing their kins. It's a very strange thing. And then we jump into 2019. Adult Mikkel kills himself, and Jonas and Martha kiss at the lake. We found out that if Mikkel doesn't kill himself, Jonas won't go on his journey to find Mikkel in the first place. So Mikkel is like a sacrifice for the whole thing. He knows that he wasn't supposed to be where he was, and the only way to cause things to happen the way they're supposed to happen is that if he kills himself and causes Jonas to start his journey on trying to find Mikkel and all of that stuff. And yeah, so to try and keep the loop going, Mikkel, which aka Michael, must kill himself, basically. And then this brings us to world number 2, the alternate world where Jonas that never existed. The arrival of Martha from the second world, who takes Jonas to the other world, where he meets Eve, who is the older version of Martha. And then we come back to world 1 in 2019, where the stranger arrives and gives a map to Jonas to follow, where he finds out that Mikkel is alive and he is his father. And then in the alternate world, Martha and Jonas make love, and Martha falls pregnant, and then she gives birth to the unknown. And then Jonas brings Martha to Eve. He is shot by another version of Martha. This is still in world 2. And then Ulrich tries to kill Helga, but in this version, he is killed instead of being arrested, like in World 1. In World 1, older Jonas, he comes back to 2019, where the young Jonas is thought to be missing, and he goes to his mother, Hannah, and tells her who he is, and takes her to 1987, where she sees Mikkel, who has been adopted, and realizes what is happening. And then Katarina finds out Mikkel grew up in the 1980s, where she begins her journey to try and get her son back, and also get Ulrich back. So this also continues the theme of this show, is that no one wants to let go of things. Everyone just wants to keep holding on people. So we see that here with older Jonas, who doesn't want to let go of Martha. So he locks her up in the bunker so that she can escape the apocalypse. But then the bunker is opened by Peter and Elizabeth when they walked in, and Martha escaped. And Adam, she goes to his house, and then that's when Adam arrives to shoot the Martha that just had escaped from the bunker. And this is the time when we find out that there are 3 possible timelines that had occurred, or that can occur, possibilities, that is. The first one is that Martha is shot by Adam, and then the alternate world Martha saves Jonas from the apocalypse. And then option number 2 is where Martha is shot, but no one comes for Jonas, so he tries to save himself by going into the basement when the apocalypse happened. And then option number 3 is where Martha is shot, but a different Adam takes Jonas to fulfill his destiny of stopping the car crash that killed the young Tannhausers. These 3 possibilities or possible timelines occur because of Claudia explaining what has been happening to Adam, and her motives were that she is trying to save her daughter, and she's been trying to erase every world where her daughter dies, and she didn't tell anyone, so everyone felt played by Claudia's strategies or whatever. So that's when the 3 possibilities come up, and we are shown this in the show. And then in the year 2020, in the original timeline where the Tannhausers did not die, Hannah and Waller are having a baby. They will name that baby Jonas. And she realizes that there's something that had happened. It feels like deja vu, basically, to her. But then this is like the big conclusion of the whole series in a way. But then some other things happen beyond 2020, which I'm getting to now. In 2021, this is where Jonas tries to kill himself, but he can't because his older version already exists and is stopped by Noah when he tries to kill himself. And then we go a step further where in 2040, when Claudia kills the alternate version of herself in order to end the knot for good. And then in 2041, Elizabeth gives birth to Charlotte, who is stolen by the older version of Charlotte, and brought to 1971, given to the townhouse. And then Adam plans to not stray away from how things are supposed to be. So basically, Adam's goal is to keep everything the way it is until something else happens other than what is supposed to happen, that one thing that will stop everything. So he tries to keep everything going according to how it's supposed to be. So, and then we go to the alternate world in 2052, where Jonas and alternate Martha meet, a middle-aged Martha, after Jonas decides to bring her to Eve to find the right answers. So basically, Jonas's journey is to find a way to stop all of this from happening in the first place. So that's when he meets all of these other Marthas and stuff. And also, this is the time And then the reason for the Martha in 2020 to kill Jonas is because of this motive of preventing the death of her child. So the Martha that left Jonas in 1988 is working with Adam, and then she is betrayed by Adam, and because she is carrying the unknown, and then Adam tries to kill her using the God particle, but it doesn't work, and she is rather he is rather tricked by Claudia, who explains the origin world to him. After hearing the explanation, that's when he joins with Eve, and then they help the younger selves. That's when Possibility 3 comes in. He goes back to try and help the younger selves to go back and stop the crash that killed the townhouses in the first place. And so basically that's where like everything ended in eventually. And then we find out that Martha and Jonas would rather sacrifice themselves instead of letting everyone go through what they've been going through and letting everyone die. So, and their choice saves a lot of lives. And in 1971, when they decide to tell Merrick that he needs to go back to his father and mend things, and then he eventually doesn't die, and then Townhouse doesn't have to build a time machine, and the world is not split. And then you see them disappear because those versions of them never existed in the first place, and everyone that was created in those particular versions also realized what had happened and what their sacrifice meant, and they accept their end, and then those worlds eventually disappear. Yeah, guys, I really, really enjoyed this show. I hope I didn't confuse you even more. If you don't think you understand, please let me know and we can try and sort it out somehow. Because I think I also confused myself there and there. But I hope I followed the timelines properly and I took the years from the beginning, 1971, and went through the infinite loop and came back to 1971 as it was supposed to. And I hope you enjoyed that. I hope I'm able to do more of these, trying to explain what these well-written shows are done. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope I see you in the next one. Yeah, I cannot say this enough. I really enjoyed this show. It's probably the best time show I've ever watched, and I've watched so many now, but yeah, this one tops all of them. And just because of that satisfying ending, knowing that they eventually choose to do right, choose a path that's bigger than themselves, and it's just brilliant. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next one.